As I was saying, Alex, you can be instrumental in changing the public's verdict. Do you understand, Alex? Do I make myself clear?
How's an unmudded lake, Fred?
What's happening, you sick bastards? Welcome back to a podcast, Orange. I am your host, Tom Crescenzo, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jack Siegel. How's it hanging, brother?
Yo, what's crappin', bros? It is. I'm feeling good. Sorry, a little tongue twisted there. I'm doing well, Tom. How is your week going so far?
Pretty good. Now that I just heard the phrase "crappening" from you for the first time, like what?
I like that phrase.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thank you for introducing that to the English language today.
That's been around. I feel like that was in a
Crappening.
I feel like I've heard that on an episode of Parks and Rec where like John Ralphio said that once. I don't know.
You steal jokes from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Admirable of you.
You know what? Sue me, Michael Schur. You're not gonna do that. Get your fucking lawyer on the phone.
Right. Fucking.
Anyway,
what's the lawyer for a guy whose last name is Schur? Like it's probably like Shurowski or something.
Like, yeah, Michael Schurensteinberg.
Michael. Oh, I gotta call my lawyer, Michael Schurensteinstein.
Michael Schurensteinberg. Laka's
Michael Schurenstein Leibowitz.
I want a lawyer whose name is just like Abraham Yamakalakis or something.
Yeah, Yamakalakis. I want a lawyer whose name is just like fucking like Josiah Jews run the media Stein.
You're gonna get
his last name is.
That's Mel Gibson's lawyer.
Yeah, Mel Gibson's lawyer is Josiah Jews run the media Stein.
So this is how you got to apologize. You got to make sure it doesn't sound believable at all, Mel. It's like, okay, I got it.
Listen, Mel, you have to make it seem like you don't hate the Jews. Think about your finances here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do hate you guys. I know, but think about your bank account. What about your credit?
Yeah, they run your business. They run the movie industry.
Well, I guess you have a point there.
So it's been 2.5. So it's been 2.5 minutes in. You've already shit on the Jews. I am a Jew, so it's okay. We can do that. We gotta shit on every ethnic group by the end of this podcast. We'll get to there.
Is that what this episode is just going to be? It's just we're going to go through every ethnic group. It's like, who's next? Croatians. All right, let's go.
This doesn't, because our last episode doesn't sound alt-righty enough.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
sorry
fine.
to anybody we fat shamed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not sorry. Put the fork down.
Jack will never be sorry.
Put the fork down, fatty.
Maybe you wouldn't be so fat if you didn't eat so many fucking cupcakes. All right, I'm sorry. Anyway, so, Jack, we did want to talk about something. We wanted to talk about just some sort of kind of, what's the word? Cringy content that's been surfacing online since the quarantine began.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing about this quarantine is that it just brings out the worst in people. And I don't even mean like just like the protesters or anything, or like the people that are like, it's all a bunch of bullshit, or blah, blah, blah. I mean, just like the people that are saying really like cringy, embarrassing shit. I'm so sick of the fucking quarantine related puns. Like, for instance, I opened up an Instagram story of one of my female friends the other day, and she said that she's making herself a quarantini, and I'm just like, ugh, just fucking die, just shut the fuck up. How do you have respect for yourself after you say something like that?
Yeah, it's like you're just so clearly trying to hide how miserable you are. You're like,
Yeah,
I'm making a quarantini. Look at me. I'm drinking at 1 in the afternoon because I have nothing without the freedom to go outside. Like,
dude. If I had a girlfriend and she was like, "Would you like a quarantini?" By the end of her saying that, she would have to call a domestic violence hotline. You
no,
know? What
yeah. If I had a girlfriend who asked me if I wanted a quarantini, I would just rape her.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. Like
kidding, kidding, kidding. All
you're gonna
right,
get you're gonna get a
kidding.
quarren rape. That's what fucking.
Fucking. Oh my god. Hashtag. Oh, there's got to be some kind of Me Too quarantine pun that we could think of here.
um Hashtag. I'm too fucking lazy to think about a
Hashtag.
fucking quarantine.
Hold on.
Um,
Let me see if I can get the hashtag me.
me
Me
three.
too. Me too close. Stay 6 feet away. Nah.
Me. You know.
Hashtag.
Hashtag
Quarant.
quarantine and
Hashtag
me.
quarantine. Hashtag quarantine.
Quarantine. Oh, there we
Hashtag
go.
quarantine.
Quarantine.
It's for people who it's for people who got Me Too during the quarantine only.
Quarantine.
Yeah,
Um,
hashtag quarantine.
oh, I saw. You know what? Another one embarrassing one. I just remember this. Somebody said that like they're watching. He was like, tonight on our movie marathon, I'm going to have a Quarantino marathon. Like
Oh
Quentin
god.
Tarantino. I guarantee you, if Quentin Tarantino heard that, he'd be like, "You need to shut the fuck up with that fucking shit, man. You sound like an asshole."
Yeah, he'd be like, Jesus Christ, these fucking pieces of shit are making me want to say the N-word all over again.
I'm just gonna write a bunch of scripts and I'm gonna say the fucking N-word over and over and over again.
Okay? I'm gonna write all these fucking scripts, okay? And they're gonna have a lot of N-words in them, okay? But it's gonna be alright, okay? Because
Enough
we
with
were
your
based in the
fucking
1800s during slavery, okay? You fucking
enough with your
piece of shit.
fucking quarantine puns. They don't make any sense.
They
What
don't
do you
make any
guys think about her?
sense, okay? All you need to think about is how beautiful Uma Thurman's feet are, okay?
What do you guys think about her? I think we got pretty good Tarantino impersonations there.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not bad. We need a little bit of work. We'll have
The
to
man
ask.
is the man is an enigma. He's hard to impersonate.
Yeah, no, he's some people. You know, Jamie Foxx does a good impersonation of him. I saw him on Howard Stern. He was like, he does a really fucking good impersonation. I was surprised.
Interesting. Jamie
Anyway,
Foxx.
Jamie Foxx impersonation of
Makes
Tarantino.
sense.
But yeah, no, just some embarrassing, like just cringy shit. Somebody's
No,
like,
yeah.
somebody wrote on their Tinder profile like quarantine and chill question mark. It's like, oh, dude, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, that was one of the first ones I saw, and even in the very beginning, I was like, I know this is not funny at all, but I'm gonna keep seeing it for a while because people are gonna think it's funny, even though it's
Yeah,
not.
and they're gonna think they're like the first person to say that too, even though like
Yeah, right.
17 other people have said it all. You know,
I'm
it's just
also sick of that
embarrassing.
joke. I'm sick of that fucking joke where it's like, Netflix is asking me if I'm still watching. It's like, bitch, I'm quarantined. What you mean? Am I still watching? It's like, come on, like
Yeah, like
we all saw that one coming,
yeah,
fucking
people
million miles
people
away.
people put like pride in having the most unoriginal jokes. They're it's just like it's a
I
bunch of
see, like I don't know. It's like I get it. Like we're all just trying to keep our spirits up and like be happy during this fucking shit and like I guess using social media provides some kind of like sycophantic high that you could just cling to, but it's just like you don't. I don't know. Like sometimes, haven't you ever thought of maybe just like reading something instead?
exactly. It's like using your brain for good. And it's also, you know what also I'm sick of is all everybody wants to like I get everybody wants to help out, but so everybody's trying to think of like how could I make myself useful? And people write on social media like, "Hey man, if you need help with this one thing, I'm doing this, cuz we all got to be there for one another." And they all try to like fucking have their own little niche thing that people can help out, any way
Yeah.
they want. It's just like no.
I'm also sick of this. I'm sick of this fake togetherness. It's like we're in this together. We
Oh
all have
my
a common enemy. It's like that is so like unbelievably not true. It's not
yeah.
even funny.
I
Like
saw that
half of us, we all recognize that it's an enemy, but half of us are okay with thousands of more Americans dying if we reopen, and then the
yeah.
other half are not retarded. You see what I'm saying? Like,
No,
We're
exactly.
not all in this together. We're all in this, but we are definitely not together. America is just as divided and twisted as it was right before the pandemic hit.
Oh yeah, and dude, I saw a picture like the other day, like to show how we're not in this together. I saw a picture of like the Open America Now protesters with the fucking guns outside of Michigan, and I sincerely was thinking like, if all these people die, I would not feel a fucking thing. I would just go. I'd be like, you know what? Good, fuck them, and all die. We are not in this together. I saw a commercial that said that, like it was for like NBC, like, we're all in this together, guys. And I just wanted to vomit. It's just like, where do you
I
get
saw
that idea?
I saw like a video, like this is the only one where it didn't make me that mad, but I'll explain. You'll understand in a second why I wasn't that mad. It was a video that Morgan Freeman put up, and I don't know, it was just kind of funny to see him. Like it's been like a while since I've seen him in anything, and he just comes out, he's just like, "Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman. Lately, we've been dealing with a lot of very difficult issues, but don't worry, we are all in this together." And
Yeah,
it's just like I imagine somebody just like, "Oh my god, thank you, Morgan Freeman. I was literally gonna pull the trigger tonight. I was gonna do it, but now that I heard that, I want to live again."
he just starts narrating. I can see that even if you
Yeah,
call yourself Morgan Freeman, just narrating. Then Mike put the gun and killed him. So I can't do a
yeah,
Morgan.
right. Like then Mike decided instead that his life was still not worth living, and
See,
so he took the gun that he had mentioned to Morgan Freeman before and killed himself with it.
I think Morgan Freeman does like the narration for CNN. Anytime he does like a narration of a commercial, I always just think of like the Shawshank when he's just like, that night Andy Dufresne didn't say one word.
Yeah, right. I like to always think of I try to imagine Morgan Freeman just narrating random like moments of like like my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like I'm like at work and I like sitting down after I just had like a bunch of shit to do, and then it's just like it just Morgan Freeman's voice just comes in like, "Tom thought seriously about killing himself in that moment," and I'm just like, "What? Where the fuck is that coming from?"
Like, hello, Tom.
Who is that? Hello? And it's like Morgan Freeman is narrating your life, son.
Like Tom decided to smoke another gravity bong
It
that
was then that Tom decided he would buy another smart water bottle to make a gravity bong later that evening.
night. Be like, I don't need you judging me.
Yeah, it's like,
God.
you know what, Morgan? Why don't you suck a dick, okay? Don't knock it till you try it.
It reminds me of that
Morgan,
movie. You ever see Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell, where
nah.
that's actually a good movie where this woman is like an author and she's narrating this guy's life of how this guy dies, but then Will Ferrell is the actual person in real life and he just starts hearing this woman narrate um his life, and he's like, Harold took 5 steps. Like, hello, who just said that? And then he
That's
realizes he's like a character in a book. It's a pretty good movie. Anyway, side
cool.
note there, little
Yeah.
pointless
Getting back to
side
what I
note.
was saying, I just thought it was funny that Morgan Freeman gave everybody a little quarantine pep talk.
Yeah,
I thought it was nice of him, but equally as useless as all the quarantine pep talks. That's another thing I'm sick of, these fucking pep talks we have to keep
yeah,
getting from all these famous people. Like it's not just the Imagine video anymore. Like it's just you just see all these like all this shit on like the news where it's like, don't worry, essential workers, we believe in you and we love you and we're here for you. And then meanwhile, you have some nurse who's just like arms deep in a fucking patient's throat with a ventilator, like watching it on her fucking phone. Like, yeah, thanks.
yeah. I really
Like
needed that.
literally, she's getting confirmed has the coronavirus, but she's not allowed to stop working yet, or this patient will literally die. And she's like, "Oh, I'm really glad CNN put out that promo saying that it believed in me. I'm really glad that Fox News took the time to thank me while I'm fucking switching out face masks like clockwork every 5 minutes, and the fucking plastic that's supposed to be covering my face is cracking at the seams and I'm tearing up every I
Yeah,
don't
like,
know. I feel
I
bad
get what
for
you're
all
saying.
the I feel bad for all like the disingenuous like praise that like nurses and shit are getting.
Oh yeah, well, it's like if you're gonna do that, like at least like Lizzo donated food and shit. Like at least do something like that.
Of course, she donated food.
Like I have all this extra food. What do you need me to do?
She's like, I literally have piles of food all over my house. I gotta get rid of it. I can't. I've tried to eat all of it, but my doctor says that I won't live for another 6 months if I do. So I have
Yeah,
to.
help me not die, and you're
It's like, Liz, okay, you just give us money. Okay, I feel like money would help a little more. It's like, hey, the food is worth money. Take it.
I have 19 rotisserie chickens in my suitcase. Would you like that?
Yeah, I have a closet filled to the brim with just raw turkeys. Do you want? They're not refrigerated or anything. It's just a closet in Lizzo's house filled with raw turkeys. And
There's
there's just
a
like
mountain of a pyramid of fucking cheeseburgers that she's just like, here, you guys want this? Like, I might eat all of this, but I really don't want to.
she like sticks her hand into the pile and she doesn't even grab one cheeseburger. It's just like a mush of a bunch of different like buns and like patties like squished together in her fat hand. She's like, all right, here, you can have this many.
Here, this will help you. Well, also, like, I saw this thing the other day where Hillary Duff, who by the way looks fucking fine, she's hot still. She didn't go have like a mental breakdown like Lindsay Lohan or Amanda Bynes. She's fucking
Hillary
hot.
Duff always kept it straight.
She kept it straight. Good for her. But she's like, she did this thing on Instagram where she's like, she had all the other actors from Lizzie McGuire on Zoom, and they did like a live table read of all the of one of their episodes. I'm just like, why? She's like, this is gonna help people. I'm like, how? Who the fuck cares? I'm sure there is some idiot out there that's like, oh my god, thank God for this. Like, I could have watched that episode of the show, but hearing the actors awkwardly say these lines 10 years later over Zoom is really gonna help me out during like, come on.
It's true. Like you have to think about like yeah, I'm sure that video she made, it might have helped some people, but you have to think about the types of people who actually got help from that.
Yeah,
Like it's
you're
probably
helping
not good people.
bitches. Yeah, you're helping basic motherfuckers. The only I would listen if a commercial that would really inspire me is if we had a video like we're all in this together, but it was Danny DeVito's voice. That would be.
I mean,
awesome.
yeah,
If
I
he was like,
would enjoy that.
listen, guys, we're all in this together, okay? Like,
Frank Reynolds says we're all in this together. Now get out there and buy a gun.
I offer you an egg in this trying time. I would be like, all right, thank you, Danny. That actually did lift my spirits right now.
No, yeah, it's what, if you can make something good, like I'm not saying like that people shouldn't make content during Corona or that it's all bad. I just some of it is just like you don't have to put something out just because, unless it's our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't have to put something out just to fill the hole inside you. Like put something out if you actually think it's good or you have something to say. And it's just like also like think about the types of people who you're really trying to entertain.
Yeah. Do you really want to entertain these fucking dumb dipshit? Like I saw one the other day where it was John Krasinski from The Office, and he had like all the actors from The Office do the dance from the wedding because it was like that. Like
I saw that too.
I'm like, you know what? That's gonna like, that's cute. Whatever. Like, because he's like, this guy's like getting married and whatever. It made him.
But is it though? Like it's cute, but then it's almost just like the existence of that at all is just like a permanent reminder of the situation we're in for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like here's me, John Krasinski, giving you this little slim piece of possible joy that you could potentially have during the coronavirus pandemic. Like, hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, like for like, here's 2 minutes to remind you that you're not living in an absolutely miserable time and remind you of like possibly the greatest sitcom of all time. But it's just like, after that it's not even like I'll watch like 20 seconds of that. I'm like, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, no, I'm not going to watch that one for like 2.5 minutes. Like, what am I going to seriously watch this whole thing? Like, I got it. They're doing the fucking, dance, whatever. Hilarious.
It's like, not just celebrities though that I have a gripe with. Like, I do want to bring up like comedians Even the ones I know who I'm friends with, like I love you all. Like, you know, I get it. This is a tough time. Like we
I
all
love
want to be
99%
on
of you.
stage. Yeah, I love a good 95%.
Yeah,
We'll say that.
I don't love like people that you know that may have written for Amy Sedaris and Conan and raped women in the past.
Yeah. All right.
um.
But
Anyway,
I'll
all right.
say this, like we love all of you, you know, I get it, it's a tough time. Everyone wants to be on stage. We all want to practice and stuff. But for God's sakes, these fucking live stream Zoom comedy shows,
Ugh.
it's vomitory. I'm sorry. It quite literally induces vomiting. It's so bad. It's just so
Yeah.
unbelievably bad. Even like a Zoom comedy performance can take the greatest joke writer of all time and turn him into like a fucking like literally like an like a Mount Sinai Long Island level open micer. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
dude,
Like
it's
that's
so because like and we have a lot of bones to pick. This is the bone picking episode of our podcast.
yeah, we're
Uh,
picking bones right
we're
now.
picking bones like a
I'm picking my
motherfucker.
bone right now.
I was invited to one by a good friend of mine, and I like her a lot, and I think she's a very talented comedian, and I appreciate the fact that she invited me to her Zoom comedy show. And I'm probably going to the next one that she went to, but Jesus Christ, it was not gonna lie, it was hard. It was like an hour and a half of my life that felt like 10 hours because comedy just it works when you're doing it on a stage. Even if there's like nobody there, it's the fact that you're on a stage, you're like on an elevated platform with a microphone
And
talking
there's a
to a group
crowd.
of
Like
people.
there's a crowd.
Yeah, there's a
Stand-up comedy is one of the only like mediums that like requires like applause to like be completed. Like you actually need real applause from like live people to
yeah.
make it. Even like not live comedy, like you still need the live video of the comedy happening in real time to work. Like it
That's why
can't
it's
just
different
be
than music, because like music, you can like play a song on a guitar and like send that video over to somebody, and you're like, that's enough. Like I don't whatever. But like a joke needs a laugh for it to
yeah.
be a joke. Otherwise, you're just like speaking sardonically into a laptop, and it just doesn't work
Yeah.
the same way.
Like I know you think you're practicing stand up, but really you're just like sitting in your underwear with like an empty bottle of tequila next to your bed.
Yeah,
And you're just like you're literally reading, your notes are like right next to your fucking webcam and you have a position so that people can't tell you're reading, but you're literally reading probably. And you're just like you're trying out these bits and you're like you probably like have to shit kind of, but you already
yeah.
signed onto the Zoom thing, so you can't even like get up. I can imagine some people have done it while shitting and people don't even know.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't even have to be wearing pants or like you just be
Yeah,
fucking
you could be
naked.
jerking off and do it.
Yeah, like you could just you like honestly,
Listen,
it
comedians, if you invite me to do your Zoom comedy show, I'm not saying I won't do it. I'm just saying I will be jerking off below my screen.
yeah,
So if
like
you consent to that, I'm happy to do a Zoom comedy show. But yeah, that's gonna be the case.
I'll be like, so what do you guys think about this quarantine? Ugh."
Oh, so anybody see any good movies lately out there? Oh yeah. Um, you
I
miss you in the bottom left panel. What's your name?
take your
Casey.
top off there, Casey. Like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
man,
Casey.
let me see them big
Casey.
old titties.
I
And
know you can't show it, but describe what you're wearing on your lower half, Casey. Oh, the joke, yeah, the joke. So, um, thank you. That's my time. Give it up for your host.
you literally could have Pornhub on the next tab. Like you could have Zoom, and
Yeah.
then on the background just have fucking incest porn in the
I would,
background, or
I would
it's just
love to like prank somebody. Like if you could like find out that one of like our friends was doing like a live comedy show and we found out like how to hack in their computer so that when they perform on like the not a live comedy like a Zoom comedy show, like a live stream one, like we could hack into their like computer system
Yeah.
somehow, so that when they perform it, it's literally just the sound of like violent hardcore pornos coming out on everyone else's end.
Like, the other day I went to the grocery store. Oh yeah, fuck me, and just
like in their room, they're sitting there just going, yeah. So the weather's kind of weird, right? But then on everyone else, it's just like, oh yeah, give me the big dick. Oh, the big dick.
and they're like, how the fuck do I turn this in? And I gotta say, the jokes when it comes to like, I don't know, you need an applause and you need like an audience reaction, and a lot of the comedians turn their mics off. Not a lot of the audience members turn their mics off when the comedians are telling the jokes, so it's like you can't even hear these people laugh. It's just like it just doesn't work. It really just does not work. I mean, one thing if you're like doing a one-on-one lesson with a comedian, because then you're literally just giving feedback. But it's just like I was part of this show and there was 40 other people, so that means there was 40 different people on individual screens. You couldn't even see most of them. You only see 3 other screens, so like you couldn't even tell who's enjoying it or not. It was just so like painful, and it just and you could tell the comedians, like, as soon as they don't get any laughs, because it's like it's hard to find stuff funny when you're telling these jokes over a screen.
Plus, it's like I can imagine there's nothing worse than bombing over Zoom. Like at least when you bomb in like a bar, like you're psychologically your brain will make it seem like you're hearing more laughs than you actually are. But like if you're doing a Zoom live stream comedy set, the only way you could tell if you're bombing is by people's faces. So you're literally just like you're reciting your jokes to a webcam with a whole like a bunch of panels with people's faces, and you're just looking at all these miserable, unentertained, bored faces. And I can only imagine that your thought in that moment must just be, is this what hell is like? Have I actually died? Am I in hell? Like
this is the hell is doing a Zoom comedy show. Well, also when you're bombing on stage and like people aren't laughing, you'd be like, yeah, you're a fucking piece of shit you could like kind of like insult the audience or like play on them or whatever, but it's like if you're doing that on Zoom, you're just like an angry man ranting into a computer screen. Like it's just weird. This one guy was like doing crowd work too. He was like looking, it's like, hey, so you wear the sweatshirt and you're like, what are you doing, man? Like, how are you doing crowd work on a computer?
How could you fucking do crowd? It's like, hey, so where are you guys from? And then they're just like, oh, they're like mouthing. They're like, you want me to turn my mic on? Oh, okay. What'd you ask? Yeah, where are you guys from? Sorry, you cut out. What was that? Where are you
There was literally, and it was just like, so what? And then people are like, oh, wait, are you talking to me? Oh, yes, you. Oh, me. And it's just so, I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, I can't wait to go to the next one.
I'll just be like, here's the thing, like I'm reiterating, and no disrespect to anybody I know in comedy who's done a Zoom comedy show. Like I'm not saying like you're dumb if you do it. I'm just saying they're a scam.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next topic.
Yes, on to our next topic.
Yes.
Speaking of scams,
yes.
Would you like to bring this up, Tom?
Yes. So as we know, there are a lot of people out there. Their intentions aren't always good, and they'll say that they are somebody when they really aren't, and they'll lie about things, and they're scammers, and they try to scam you. They'll trick you. And our good friend Jack over here recently almost got scammed.
I got scammed. I almost got scammed by this person pretending to work for Bud Light, and they needed somebody to like work their Facebook page. And this was like they almost got me because they say like, hey, we're Bud Light, so you're just like, well, that's fucking a national company. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? Your first thought would be like, well, okay,
it doesn't seem like a scam, and I'll just say like, we'll just spend the next 10 minutes of you going through this. Because I really think like there's a lot that you could say, but it really does speak for itself. Like what Jack has presented me with, folks, it's beautiful. This guy really tried to seal the deal. So go into it, Jack. Just describe for the next 10 minutes. Let's try not to go too long, but just go into it and explain what happened.
Well, he basically told me that he'd be willing to pay me a good amount of money, and I googled it, and they're like, "This thing is a scam." So I sent over the article, saying it was a scam to this guy through text. This guy said his name was Michael uh, Tomaine. He might as well just said, "My name is John, American, real person." Like, you know what I mean? And so I was like, so here's what I said to this guy once I found out it was a scam. I said, "Why don't you go fuck your mother, you scammer piece of shit? You're lucky I don't find where you live and kill your whole family." And then I wrote a bunch of individual texts saying, "Bitch, pussy, get raped, loser, fuckface, cunt, bitch, bitch." And this guy replied saying, an individual text, he said, "You're a fucking parasite." And he said, "Asshole, cunt, I will fuck your mother, your wife, and your daughter in your fucking asshole face."
Ooh, coming in hot from the other
I
end.
mean, obviously, this guy doesn't know me. I don't have a wife or a daughter. And then I said, "I'm a parasite? Question mark, exclamation point. You're literally a
Punctuation.
scammer. You're the biggest waste of oxygen that ever lived. You have no value as a person. Go kill yourself. No one will miss you when you die." And then I wrote, "How about I go to the police and then they will track your number and arrest your bitch ass. Then you'll spend the rest of your days getting raped in jail." And he replied saying, "You will die of coronavirus." And then I said, "Actually, I'm gonna be just fine. You, on the other hand, will probably become depressed from trying to scam people, realize the embarrassing failure of a human being you are, and take your own life." I said, "You're a joke. You're a living joke and an embarrassment." And he said, "Fuck you, bitch." I said, "Fuck you, bitch. That's the best you got. I tell you to kill yourself, and all you can say is fuck you, bitch. You're even as bad at coming up with insults as you are at making life decisions. You are a vermin. You have no value. Nobody in your life loves you. You have no joy. You are an empty soul. Please die."
Oh,
And that's the last thing that I said to that guy.
damn, boy. Jesus. Oh, my God. Ice for the burn. Ice for the burn. Fuck.
I like how
Jack and I, as many of you may know, had done a roast battle like a month or so back, almost 2 months now. And if Jack roasted me even like half as hard as he roasted that guy, he would have decimated me.
well, I mean, the thing is, that guy, if I would have said that to like a random person, I would feel bad because I'm like, that's not nice. But this guy is scammers should kill themselves. They are fucking pieces of shit. I didn't feel a single thing. I felt proud of myself after I did that. I'm like, that was awesome. I read aloud to my dad what I said to him, and he laughed his ass off. I thought it was hilarious. Like,
I'm proud of. I like how you're just like amongst all of this, you're like, yeah, and I showed my daddy, and he was proud of me.
Yeah, I'm still a man child. I'm still just want to impress my dad after all these years.
You're like, look, Dad, I really showed this guy, huh? And your dad's just like, why are you like this?
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ. I thought you'd be out of the house by now. Okay. But you know what? No, I don't care. I was happy that I did that. I thought it was fucking funny, and I don't
It is,
care.
no,
Fuck him.
and
I
it's
hope
definitely
he kills himself. I would.
it's
If that,
definitely deserved. It's deserved. If you're a scammer, like you're in the business of trying to ruin people's lives by tricking them. Like you're a piece of dog shit. Like
you're worse than dog, dude. You're like, if he kills himself because of this, I am going to be ecstatic. I will feel like that will be my life's accomplishment. Honestly, like I could just hang up and retire. Because like there are people that will, there are those people that work in those call centers that will pretend to be like from the IRS, and they'll call old people and they'll say like, we're from the IRS. We're gonna come arrest you, and they trick like
yeah.
senior citizens, like vulnerable confused old people into giving their credit card information. Like, you're like lower than dirt. I feel like
Yeah.
terrorists, like ISIS, looks at those people and be like, Jesus, we thought we were bad. These people are garbage. You know, like you're just. Ugh.
No, yeah. If you I'm not trying to sound inhumane or anything, but like, if you do that, like if you're the type of person who would scam people like that, like scam senior citizens, like I personally think that you should have your scalp removed
Yeah.
in the style of a Native American, and then have your skull boiled and severed from your body, which will then be violently raped after your death with the blunt end of a broomstick.
Oh yeah, and it's just it's I just don't understand how you can like do that shit and then look at yourself in the mirror and like as you're going to work being like, well, another day of being
Yeah,
horrible. Like, how do you
another day of causing house
misery?
foreclosures and ruining lives.
Yeah, totally innocent people that trust me, pretending to be a fucking. I mean, the problem is, and I like did a bunch of research into this, is like a lot of that comes from India, where their laws, the police force is really corrupt in India, and they're often like paid off by these crooked politicians, and they have like something like 2 million people employed in these fake scam call centers because
Wow.
their country is really impoverished, and so these
Yeah.
people don't have a lot of options. I mean, it's still not it's still like I'm not making excuses for like these people, but like
But
like
you did just say these people.
these people. Okay, these
What do you
fucking
mean?
people.
What do you mean these people though?
What do you mean, you people?
Nah, you
Uh,
got to elaborate there. What you mean these people?
what you mean, fool? Well, okay. I mean these fucking. Uh,
I mean,
these
you mean the
scammers.
scammers. I get it. You mean scammers. No,
Jesus.
I'm not saying that if you're some like impoverished person in like a foreign country who's doing this because you have no other option that you deserve to have your head severed and body raped in the way I described previously. I'm saying if you're just one of those fat white guys who still lives in their parents' basement who's trying to use this to find a way to get enough money to move out and live on your own,
Yeah,
then you should kill yourself.
and also, even if you not if you're like starving to death and be like, if you do this, I'll give you a piece of bread. But there are some like Indian people that are, they could have other jobs and they're just like, well, this is like I swear to God,
I don't want another job.
I saw this documentary about it by this guy. I can't remember his name, but I'll get on the next episode. And he like basically exposed this Indian call center and got this guy arrested. He like hacked into their
Damn.
webcam. This guy's like doing great fucking work. And so he videotaped them in their call center, and they're like on the phone with these old ladies, and this old lady's like crying because she thinks she's gonna get arrested, and these people are like laughing, and they're like laughing their ass off. I'm like, these
Jesus.
people are legitimate psychopaths. Like, what
Holy
the
God.
fuck? That's nuts.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Like that's so it's
You
fucked,
are a
fucked
piece
up
of shit.
Like,
Because you can't like it's one thing if you're like, Jesus Christ, like if I don't do this, I'm gonna die. But on the other hand, it's like if you're getting some like enjoyment out of it, like you're so fucked up, man.
yeah,
Get
right.
get help.
It's
As
like
Michael
literally
Jordan.
like it's like the greatest. It's like that's like major league prank calling right there.
Yeah, no, that guy is awesome. I
It's
got
like
next
prank
episode.
calling. It's like prank calling for money. Like that's a say.
Yeah,
These are people who like decided they wanted to be prank callers for a living, and then they just use their prank calls to steal from people.
from stealing from like old people. Well, there's some YouTube channel where these guys will find out numbers of these scammers and call them back and just like waste hours of their lives and get these people to flip out. I remember
True.
on one day of the quarantine, I went on a binge of just like watching that shit for a while and laughing because it's like those are the types of people that like you don't have any real sympathy for because it's like what you're doing is wrong. It's not only
It'd
illegal.
be, it, yeah, it's illegal and immoral. It'd
Yeah,
be it'd be it'd be funny to call. It'd be funny to like call one of those like scammers, and but just like you just use one of the like I'm sure somebody's done this, but you just use like a bunch of sound bites that are just all Arnold Schwarzenegger.
it's
Like, because people do that all the time with other prank calls where it's just like, hello, thank you for calling. Can I help you with? It's like, I am a cybernetic organism.
Yeah, put that cookie down, sir. I am not eating a cookie right now. Put that
Shut
cookie
up!
down.
Stop it! Get
When
to
I
the
said get to the,
chopper!
he's like, what chopper? What are you talking about? The chopper?
Or if you could just do a Morgan Freeman impression, just like call these, it's like, thank you for calling our company. How can I help you? It's like, hello, Morgan Freeman is interested in some shares in your establishment.
Like
And
that
then you just
day,
take him for a ride. Like,
just narrate that day. Ashtosh pretended to be Michael Flintel.
and on that day, Bahadi Bat Balal realized that
Realized he
realized
should have
that he
made
was
better life
not
decisions.
realized that it was immoral to scam American white people.
Yeah,
He instead moved to America himself to enroll his children in school to become engineering majors.
he would be like, "Sir, what are you talking?" Well, that's the thing too, is that I find it funny that this guy didn't even like pretend to put on a facade. Like as soon as I called him out for being a scammer, he wasn't. He didn't try to be like, "I'm not a scammer." Like,
Well, I
what are
mean,
you
you called him out pretty hard. Like, it's not like you said, "Hey, dude, I think are you sure this isn't a scam?" You're like, "Bro, you're a fucking scammer, you loser piece of shit." Like at that point, he's probably like, "All right." Like,
Yeah, he's like, I don't need this shit. Well, like I
yeah,
was watching, but even those videos when they like, the like when the old ladies are confused and they need to get like some Google Play card to like, so these people can like hack into their computer and delete their file and like steal their credit card information. These scammers will start like yelling at these people and like being like, "What are you doing later?" And it's like, dude, come on, if you're gonna like scam, like no real call center person would ever yell at them. They know that customer service is one of the most important things. They're not gonna,
yeah.
it's like at least pretend, put on a fucking put on like come on. If you're
At
gonna be
least
a piece of
try.
shit,
At least try to put on blackface.
yeah, exactly. Like if you're gonna be a fucking piece of shit, at least like be good at being a piece of shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
go full on piece of shit and add racism to the mix.
Yeah, wear, even if nobody can see you, wear blackface. Just,
Exactly.
what's the worst that could
All
happen?
right.
You're committing another crime. Actually, wearing blackface isn't a crime, but.
It's a crime against morality.
Yes, it's wrong. A
Yeah.
podcast orange does not approve of blackface. We're gonna say that right now.
Yep. And on that note, I think it might be time to wrap things up.
Yes.
I
So,
think that's
any
a good
last
way
words?
to end it. I think that's a good way to end this. So, Podcast Orange does not approve of blackface. Thank you all for listening.
Agreed. Have a good weekend, guys. See you
No,
next.
all right. Yeah, I think. Do you have any closing remarks? Seriously?
Um, my closing remarks are I hope you enjoyed, and if you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. Find your own fucking podcast and do it yourself. Then like
Yeah.
it's not our job to please you, you
Yeah.
entitled bitch.
Stop being a fucking pussy.
And also I love my comedian friends, and I can't wait to go to the next Zoom comedy show so I can shit on it some more.
Yeah, I love all my comedian friends too, but I will not be attending your Zoom comedy shows. Good luck. I hope you do well. I give you all my support, but I will be home, likely getting high and masturbating instead.
It's a good time.
Yep. Always a good time.
It's always a good
All right.
time.
All right,
And
guys.
yeah, and then next week I'll find that guy's name, and yeah, what else do we say? I think that's about it. All right, I
Yeah,
think I'm turning this thing off.
we have stuff we wanted to talk about that we'll definitely get to next week. So tune in next time and we'll be back, everybody. Thank you for listening to a podcast orange. I'm Tom Crescenzo.
I'm Jack Siegel, a
Have a good night,
podcast
everybody.
orange out.
Yeah.